Welcome to Study Session 9, Trade Dispute Settlement Procedures. Introduction. The settlement of labor disputes must be pursued with rapt attention to control prolonged interruption of the system. This study session will therefore expose you to both the grievance procedure and statutory for settling conflicts. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to discuss the internal machinery of grievance procedure. You should be able to describe the statutory mechanisms of settling trade disputes. Machinery of grievance procedure. This is the internal machineries that are pre-agreed and self-imposed undertaken by the parties, workers and employees to resolve all grievances through specified machinery without resorting to industrial action. Trade Dispute Act 1976, Section 3, 1 stipulate that any dispute arising in industry must first be settled under internal machinery, and only when this fails can the statutory procedure be resorted to. A grievance is the dissatisfaction of any employee or a group of employees over a denial of a perceived right or interest to which the individual or the group feels entitled. Fasoyin, 2002. Fasoyin, 1980, gave 4 stages to be followed to utilize the internal grievance resolution procedure. The procedure starts with the aggrieved employee reporting his grievance to his immediate boss or sectional head for investigation and possible resolution. If resolution was not achieved, the second stage operates. The grievance is then reported in writing to the sectional manager within specified days. For example, in most companies, 3 days, the sectional manager intervenes and tries the settlement of the grievance. But if this fails, the grievance process proceeds further by reporting same to the union representative who accompanies the aggrieved to present the case to the head of the department. 3rd stage. If settlement for the grievance is not found at stage 3, it is then referred to the managing director through the personnel manager. 4th stage. This is the final stage of the internal grievance processing. Types of grievances. Grievances can be classified into 2, namely individual grievances and collective grievances. Individual grievances. Individual grievances are based either on right or interest. Right grievances form the major aspect of individual grievances, which include workers' protest or workers' desire for wage increase, reduction in hours of work, non-promotion, termination of appointment, maltreatment by supervisor, etc. Disputes relating to rights are termed to be justifiable disputes. Interest grievance is alluded to when workers want the employer to concede to their request. Such grievances are settled by haggling. Haggling device is a negotiating method of settling interest disputes over what will be the working rules for the future. Bristenden, 1965. Since interest grievances are non-justifiable, they are disposed of through peaceful alternative to litigation in the form of arbitration. Iwuji, 1987. It has been observed that it is difficult to separate right grievance from an interest grievance, for in most cases, a critical examination of right grievances has underlying interest grievances. Collective grievance. Collective grievances refer to the dissatisfaction of a group of employees or the entire members of the union. Fasoin, 2002. Such grievances involve interest issues like non-payment of entitlement, wages, benefit, dissatisfaction with working conditions, non-inclusion of certain things in the negotiation list, etc., etc. In some cases, an individual grievance may become a collective grievance if the employees think that such act is an affront to their union. For example, termination of the appointment of a union leader can become a group grievance. Procedure for statutory settlement of trade disputes. The basic structure of the machinery for settlement of trade disputes in Nigeria are defined statutorily from Trade Dispute Act number 7, 1976, Trade Disputes Essential Services Act number 23, 1976, Trade Disputes Amendment Act number 54, 1977, and Trade Disputes Essential Services Amendment Act number 67, 1977. It should be noted that voluntary grievances procedure in the settlement of trade disputes are recognized by the Trade Disputes Act of 1979. However, when it fails, the next unmentioned 5 stages of statutory procedure are applicable. They are mediation, inquiry, conciliation, arbitration, National Industrial Court. Mediation. Trade Disputes Act 1976, Section 3 requires both parties to a dispute to submit their dispute to a mutually agreed mediation if the internal machinery and procedures fails, or if no such agreed means of settlement exists. The submission to the mediation shall be within 7 days of the failure or the existence of the dispute. Where this fails, any of the parties wishing to pursue the matter further is required to declare a trade dispute and notify the Federal Ministry of Employment, Labor and Productivity in writing within 14 days of the failure to resolve the dispute. Board of Inquiry. Section 23 and 24 of the Trade Dispute Act gives room for a board of inquiry which is primarily a fact-finding machinery. The board looks into the causes and circumstances of the dispute. A board of inquiry is not mandatory to feature in the dispute settlement machinery, nor is it required to proceed conciliation. Most often, inquiry board is appointed when the dispute is likely to have a serious effect on the public interest and it will be expeditiously good to clear the air. The use of board inquiry is abhorred by unions because it is seen as a form of delay mechanism to the advantage of employers. Conciliation. After the receipt of a written report from either party to a trade dispute, the Minister of Employment, within 7 days, appoints a conciliator who will look into the causes and circumstances of the dispute and, by negotiation with the parties, attempt to bring about a settlement. If settlement of the dispute is reached within 14 days of his appointment, the conciliator shall forward a memorandum of the terms of the settlement duly signed by the agents of the disputing parties to the minister. Arbitration panel. When conciliation fails to reach settlement within 14 days of its appointment, it shall inform the minister, who in turn will refer the dispute to Industrial Arbitration Panel, IAP, within 14 days of the failure of conciliation. It should be noted that IAP is the beginning of the judicial processes for settling trade disputes. IAP is made up of a chairman, his deputy, and 12 other members, 4 of whom are nominated, each by employers and union. The board has 21 days unless an extension is granted to give its award. Legal representations are allowed for either party at the sitting of the arbitration hearing, but it is not mandatory. Also, bilateral negotiations goes on concurrently with the panel hearing. Where settlement is reached, the panel will simply confirm such agreement and issue its award so as to give legal backing to the agreement. Such award of IAP is published by the minister, who allows a maximum of 21 days within which either party to the dispute may raise an objection. If no objection is received within the stipulated time, the minister confirms the award that becomes binding on both parties. National Industrial Court. If any of the party involved in trade dispute gives a notice of subjection to the award given by IAP to the minister within the legal 21 days of the award, the minister shall refer the dispute to the National Industrial Court, NIC. The NIC is made up of a president and 4 other members who are referred to as judges. It has exclusive jurisdiction to make awards in the settlement of a trade dispute and determine the interpretation of its own award. A collective agreement, award of the IAP, or the terms of settlement of any trade dispute, Fasoin 2002. NIC re-airs the dispute, call for evidence as deemed fit, and gives a ruling that is final and binding on both parties involved in the dispute. It is no gainsaying that the statutory procedure, even though it emphasizes third-party intervention, nevertheless promotes collective bargaining. Mediation and conciliation are direct extensions of the bargaining process because their principle is respected in negotiation and effective communication. Moreover, arbitration and the industrial court encourage continuous bargaining that can result in a consent award, which is a further show of support for collective bargaining. Study session summary. In this study session, we discuss the resolution of trade dispute through the grievance process. Grievances can be individual or collective. The statutory mechanisms for trade dispute resolutions were equally discussed. They are mediation, inquiry, conciliation, arbitration, and industrial court. End of study session 9. Thank you for listening.